Hi, in this section, what agenda I am going to cover is whatever program I have written in the last video, that is about happylearning.java. We will have to take a closer look of that program to understand it better. Then I will explain about Java editors. Generally, we use Notepad and Eclipse. Then I will cover punctuation of the class, where what is the separator, white spacing, sorry, it should be white spacing, identifiers, literals, comments, how we will do that. Next I will go through about Java keywords. Then I will explain about Java packages, and then I will cover Java data type. So let's start. Let's take a closer look at the program. So the program what we have written, so I'm opening that Java file. Okay, so I will make it bigger font so that you can see it better. Okay, so here this is the class. In Java we first write the class, so the name of the Java file should be same as the name of class. That class must be having the keyword as a public. So public is the class name that should have the same as Java file name. So the name of this Java file is happylearning.java. So everything what we write, that we will write into the class. Then let's talk about this method. This method says public static void main. The section of this is, first one is the access modifier. Public is called access modifier. Then static is nothing but the way I want to load that method into this class. So if I mark any method as a static, it means that when this class will be loaded, this method will be available. So to use this method, we don't need to create the object. So if it is static, no need to create the object. Then wired, that is a return type. So it says that no return type. So and then I have main as method name. And then we have parameters. So this is public, this is static, wired, main, and this is parameter. So this is the way a method will be defined, and inside that method, so you have to open a curly braces and end with another curly braces. Inside that, whatever you are writing, that will be part of execution. So once you say Java, C, happy learning, what happens? It will compile this Java program and write a class file, that is happy learning dot class. So, and when you say Java happy learning, you are basically executing this Java program. So what happens while execution, while running the program, what happens? So it will first load the class JVM, Java virtual machine loads the class and runs main method. So this main method is very much important. So if that class has main method, then only you will be able to run the program, because when you are running a program, JVM tries to find out the main method inside the class, and if it is available, then it will run it. Run means whatever written in the main method, it will start doing the execution. So the signature of main method is very much fixed in this case. Let me put whatever I have written into the comment so that our program will still work fine. So whatever you will write into this method, that will start getting executed. So when you run this program, JVM tries to find out a main method, and there is a convention of writing this main method. It should be written in this way only. The method definition should be either this way. There could be a little bit change in the way you will define this method, or it could be a static public. You can just interchange the things. Wired should be at same place, method name, and it could be written like this also. So you can say static public or public static, and you can say this way. So these are three ways you can define your public static void main method. The thing to remember here is, if you are running a Java program, it should have a main method. So let's try different things and let's see what happens. So again, let's open that. Now I say, let's compile it. Hello. First let's remove this file. So right now you will not see anything, only Java file is there. So let's compile it. So it's compiled. We have not changed anything because everything that is in comment. So let's try out some options. Let's comment this one and uncomment. Put it on top. So now your method is public static void main, and the parameter is sequence has been changed. The string array, earlier it was string array arg, then array sign. Now it is string, then array sign, then variable name. So let's compile it. It's compiled. Now I can run it. Now let's try this one. Static public void main string. What is the difference here? I have interchanged the location of public and static. Let's try. So it's compiled. Let's run it. It's running. What if you don't have main method? So let's comment everything, then try to compile. It's compiled. When you try to run, it will look for that method. So it says that main method not found in class happy learning. Please define the main method as public static void main. It is suggesting the solution. So if you are running it, it should have the main method. So let's uncomment it back. And try to run it again. Compile it and run it again. So it's fine. So what we saw that there whenever you are trying to execute a method, when you are trying to run a method, it should have the main method, and these are the three ways you can define the main method. Now in this method I have write one liner system.out.println, then the message. So system.out.println is used to print anything on the screen. Only thing you have to remember is whatever you are writing inside this method println, inside the method, it should be returning something. So if it could be a string, it could be any primitive data type, object data type. If you are writing any function inside, if you are calling any function inside this println, the only condition is that function should return something. If it is not returning anything, you cannot call. I will show you later how it should be. So I hope this is clear why we write main method and what is the signature of main method. So any method should have access modifier. If it is not having access modifier, there is something called default access modifier. It is optional. You can give static or non-static. If you are giving static, you don't need to create the instance of the class. You have not to create the object of class. If you are creating, then it is also okay, but it is not required. So what happens once you run the program, it loads, JVM loads this class. So while loading, the static method will be available, so JVM can easily call the main method from that class. So no need to create the object, because JVM doesn't understand that JVM need to create a object or not. So that's reason we mark this method as a static method. Void is return type. So void means no return type. You can provide any other return type. So in this example, if you are giving int here. I'm changing the return type and trying to compile it. So compilation is so it says that you have to return a because you are returning int here, so you have to return something. So I am returning say 0. So I am returning 0 here. So let's again, now you try to run it. It says that main method must return a value of type void in class happy learning. Please define the main method as public static void main. So from here you can understand it should be a predefined format, the way you have to define this main method. So coming back to your presentation, so we are done with we have taken a closer look of program. So let me go back. I have to explain few things more over here. So what is happening here when you say system.out.println happy learning? So system is the class. Okay, system is the class. Out is the static object. That's reason you can just say system class dot object name, and this println is the method on that object. So system is the class, out is the object of that class, static object, and println is the method in this out object. Out is kind of print screen type of the object, and then you are giving a message that you want to print. Okay, so this is how we have taken a closer look of that method. Java editor, you just noticed that I created my first program in Notepad. It could be any editor, Notepad or any editor you can think of, Notepad plus plus, or you can say command prompt editor, anywhere. Only you need to think about writing the Java code and saving the file. I recommend for the beginners to start writing the Java code in Notepad, because whatever syntax keywords you are writing, it will be easy for you to remember. Otherwise, once you have little bit confidence on your understanding about Java, you can start using some ID which are very much suggested and advised in the Java programming kind of development environment. So Eclipse is very famous IDE, so that will help you to write the Java code, Java project, and there are a lot of plugins. You can do the web application development, you can do Android application development, or you can do Java J2E kind of project development using Eclipse. So let's show you how you can work on the Eclipse. Same program I am going to write in the Eclipse. So in my desktop I have Eclipse. So what you need to do, Eclipse is basically you can download from the website. What you need to say, Eclipse download. So from here you can download the Eclipse. The version is up to you. So suppose you are downloading based on your operating system, how much bit it has, it is 64 bit or 32 bit. that you can download. You can download any one of them. So for example, I have already downloaded. So I am starting my Eclipse. So I have downloaded Eclipse Juno. It is a product version of Eclipse. It is quite latest. So once you start it, let's see what it will happen. Okay, so this is your Eclipse. So before starting something on Eclipse, let me explain something about this product, this IDE. So Eclipse Java EE IDE for web developers. This sort of welcome page where you can see the tutorials and all those things. So I'm skipping this one. So this is a plain blank. So what you need to do, you need to create a workspace. So I am creating this workspace in Redrive training workspace. Once I create, my Eclipse will restart having that workspace. Workspace is a kind of place where you can make few projects. Okay, so you go to Windows and Preferences. This is something you need to set on very high level. So every project, this setting is applicable for any project. So just go to Java directly and see the few things. One is, what is the compiler you are using, because you are running the program, so you have to compile it and run in the program. So compiler is inbuilt a kind of preference that you can change. So you can see here compiler is using 1.7 JDK 1.7. It is using the JRE. So JRE, this is the location where JRE has been installed in my machine. You can have, I can change where I want. So I have in my D drive Java JRE. So I want to point to this place. So my JRE is now pointing to this location. Compiler is still 1.7. Build path. So whenever I will create the project, the source folder name is src, and output. So when you compile it, so Eclipse does the compilation. Once you save the project, you can, while doing the building, it will compile the your Java file or whole project, and all the classes will be written into this folder. So I am using the JRE container. Whatever I have created JRE, it will use it. That's only thing you need to aware of right now. So my preferences are done. So what I am going to do, I can directly create one Java file. So file, new, then you go over there and create one project. So you generally create a Java project. You can give project as training. In this project you are using the JRE, that is 1.7. This is by default settings, no need to change. It is taking from your preferences. Click on next. So your all the output folder of the source will be pointing to training bin. Now you are ready with your workspace and project. So you see that there is one folder called src created. Now you are going to write your first program over here. So I am giving this name as happy learning. No need to give the name of Java. Package is required, it is recommended, it's not mandatory. So package I will create com.test. Okay, so you can do a lot of things, but right now just focus on you're just creating the let's not create the package right now, I will tell you later. Just keep the name of the class and say finish. So it created one happy learning.java. So you saw that it creates a class, public class with the name as you have the created the name of the Java file. So you can do the fast development, in using Eclipse. So you just saw that I created one Java file with the name and it automatically created one class. So I'm going to write one method public static void main string args opening bracket and closing. So you saw that whenever you are opening curly braces, immediately when you press enter, it closes the braces. And you are going to write the same system dot. Here once you click on dot, you can see all the options you can write over here. So this is the benefit of using IDE, but as a beginner I will suggest you to use Notepad so that you can remember the syntax. So I am using out, then giving print ln. Print ln means print with new line. So I will say happy learning. So now your class is ready. Let's try to see the property of this project. So what is the resource of this project? This is located as D drive, training workspace and training, and then build path it shows that you have source, that is training and src. So whatever you are going to write inside src, that will be your Java source. You are going to put your class files into training bin, and these are the libraries. Right now it is having dependency on JRE 7. Okay, now you want to run it. So for running this one, just click on right click and say run as Java application. So you saw that there is a result here. So happy learning is the output. So the purpose of using this Eclipse is you can do the easy development, you can focus on learning new things, and rest of the things will be taken care by Eclipse, like spacing, punctuations, all those things it will be taking care.